Right, so hey guys, we're back for another video of the channel, guys. Today, me and Rack are gonna go ahead and do our knockout stage predictions. And so basically, we're looking through all the round of 16 games, the quarterfinals, semifinals, and of course the final. And obviously, in the future, I could perhaps do a reaction video to this to see how well this ages. And so, Rack, take it away here. What's your thoughts on the very first fixture we have is Belgium versus Scotland?
The first fixture here is Belgium and Scotland. So I see Belgium going through easily with the squad they have. They have Lukaku won the Serie A. Yeah, he was second top scorer, I think, behind Ronaldo. I think he would, although Belgium have no Kevin De Bruyne, they can beat Scotland and go through. So yeah, I see Belgium going through.
I don't think is Kevin De Bruyne ruled out for the entire tournament?
I don't think so. I'm not sure actually, but he broke some bones. I remember that.
Yeah, he's definitely gonna miss the first day. I think a first match day. I think he should be back in time for the round of 16. I think he should. Okay. I mean, regardless, even without him, I still would expect Belgium to beat Scotland. I mean, yeah, I think it'll be a great run for Scotland to continue their run here. Obviously, it would be nice for the underdogs to do it, but Belgium, man, they have too much power in the attack. That attack is crazy good, man, and they have a very good goalkeeper as well. So Scotland, man, hard luck to them. I would like to see them. I would like for them to prove me wrong, of course, but I do believe Belgium will prevail. So the next one we have is Italy versus Ukraine. Now, for me, this is a really interesting one because even though the heavy favorites are obviously Italy here, and I think many people will probably back Italy here, I do believe Ukraine could actually do something here because we have seen in the past that Ukraine have known to get some great results against the top teams. I mean, we saw in the Euro 2020 qualifiers, they actually managed to get 4 points against Portugal, which I thought was very, very impressive. And they actually, in the recent Nations League, they recorded a historic win against Spain. But as I think it's going to be difficult for Ukraine, and as much as I would like for Ukraine to do this, I think Italy, the power they have been has been insane, and I think Italy will slightly edge this through. But of course, I think Ukraine may be able to do it. So yeah, so what do you think? Do you think Ukraine can maybe do it, or probably not?
I agree with you that Italy will go through, but however, I have to disagree with the fact that Ukraine will give a fight because Italian players this season have been solid all round, and I think they could easily defeat the Ukrainian national team and go through and face off Belgium in the quarterfinals.
The problem with Italy, though, the biggest problem I think of with them is probably their defense. I mean, I don't think Chiellini and Bonucci are like that. That could be a very huge
issue. But they have Donnarumma at the back.
That's true. That's a great goalkeeper. And I think they have Bastoni, so Bastoni might be able to play in Demiral. Actually, not Demiral. Bastoni. So Bastoni's a great defender. So, yeah, but I don't know, man. I mean, I would still expect them to beat, but it may not be that easy as we think it would be. Who knows, though? It's going to be interesting, though. I think it'll be an interesting fixture. Then we have France versus Russia. I think this will be a very interesting one. I think France should prevail. Of course, I think Russia can do something, but I think France will just about go through. That attack they have is ridiculous. So words cannot describe how good their attack is. Do you agree?
Yep, I agree with you. See France going through easily. They could possibly score 3 or more. Like they scored against Wales recently. That Wales performance was brilliant. Benzema's return to national team. He did show, even though he was unlucky not to score, he did show why he should start over Giroud. But Giroud is a clutch player who France can use if they can't get to Russia in the first half. So I see that France going through, yeah.
Now we have a very interesting fixture: Croatia versus Sweden. Now I think for me this is a tough one to call. And I wouldn't be surprised to see this be goalless and go to penalties. I wouldn't be surprised. And I feel like for me, the two nations are very similar. But I just have this feeling that Sweden will probably just edge this through simply because, like I said, a lot of Croatia's players, they're on the decline. The golden generation is pretty much over for them. And I think Sweden will just about get through. But man, Croatia could easily do it too. So I'm going to say I'm going to say Sweden just about edges past this.
Yeah, I agree with you. Sweden will go through. And if you look back at the 2018 World Cup, I know it's quite some time, but in the 2018 World Cup, I think in three rounds, Croatia had to go to extra time just to win. Two of those they won in penalties. So I think this time they might go to extra time again. And Sweden have a good young squad compared to the aging Croatian squad. And although they have experience, I think Sweden will gain the edge over Croatia. Croatia also lost form since 2018 World Cup. So yeah, I expect Sweden to go through and play France.
I think Croatia also have some of their key players that retired. I think Mandzukic, Subasic, and I think Rakitic also retired too. Probably some other people retired as well that I haven't listed yet. So yeah, the next fixture we have is Spain versus Turkey. Now, I honestly believe for me, this will be a very, very interesting. So, Rack, what do you think? I think this is a tough one to call, to be honest with you.
Yeah, this is a tough one to call. If you Oh yeah, I forgot to mention earlier that I think in these fixtures for now, Croatia and Sweden is the toughest to call. But I think a close second would be the Spain Turkey game because Spain they just lost I think today morning or something they lost Busquets to COVID, and I think some of the key Spanish players might get COVID and get isolated. So we can't predict this game and what happens at that time. But if touch wood that the main players get COVID, I don't see Spain going through. And in their recent friendlies, they played Morata up front, and he missed a few sitters. Although he did score some goals, I feel Turkey could stop Spain and go through. But yeah, it's really tough to call. What do you think?
Yeah, I think from what I read, I saw that no other player tested positive. So it seems like only Busquets tested. So I'd imagine that it's going to be difficult because I think Turkey for me they have a really really good star squad. I feel like their squad is very good. And I feel like for Spain they haven't really been that convincing, and I feel like for me Spain they've been kind of lackluster. So it's a tough call. I'm kind of debating what should I pick here, but I think right now I'm gonna give the edge to Spain because it's Spain after all. But man, Turkey could do it too. So right now, if I had to like just by full strength for both teams, I think Spain might just prevail on penalties, honestly, because I think Turkey for me they have a very good chance. It's just that I don't know, man. I feel like the Spain they'll find a way to go through. I think they'll find a way, and this. I feel like Spain will do it, but I don't know, man. That's a close one. I think I wouldn't be surprised to see Turkey do it. I think Turkey have more than enough capabilities to do so. And now we have a juicy fixture. We have England versus Portugal. What a clash this will be. Oh, man. What do you think, Rack?
This is possibly one of the two biggest fixtures in all these lists, and the next biggest fixture is the one which we'll go to after this. But now let's focus on England versus Portugal. This is really tough to call because England under Gareth Southgate have been dodgy at times. And I mean, in the 2018 World Cup, they managed to reach the semis. That is an achievement. I think some of the English teams have not managed to do that. And I think Gareth Southgate has the potential to take this England team to the latter stages of the Euros. And Portugal, I think they also have an equally good chance. Really tough to call, but I think the Cristiano Ronaldo factor will just edge them over England and Portugal will go through.
Yeah, let me just say this right now. I believe Portugal will beat England, and the reason why is because I believe Fernando dos Santos is a better manager than Gareth Southgate, and I don't trust Gareth Southgate. I'm sorry, man. This guy. I mean, the amount the amount of talent England has at disposal, I just don't think Gareth Southgate can do it. And I feel like England, they're just gonna choke. They're gonna underperform, and unfortunately, I think England will crash out in the round of 16. How crazy would that be? You know, that's very very sad. So yeah, I think I interrupted you to say. What were you saying here?
No, yeah, I agree that Gareth Southgate isn't a really good manager compared to the Portugal manager. And yeah, he's not using England as well as he could, like choosing so many defenders, especially right back. I know England has an overload of right backs, but I mean, you have to stand your ground and choose who you think is the best for a national team. Your manager, you just have to choose.
Yeah, I think England's going to unfortunately crash out. So, yeah, like I said, though, it's going to be interesting, though, because I think it'll be a very interesting game, because I don't think it'll be easy by any means. And now we have another interesting one. We have Netherlands versus Germany. This will be another interesting one. What do you think here?
Both teams are equally. Both teams are actually on the decline from early 2010s. Netherlands, after reaching the final in 2010, they have been on a decline, but now there have been new players coming in, and Memphis Depay is shining. The recent friendly, he did really well. And Germany, I mean, they won the World Cup in 2014. Then after that, they did not even get out of the group stage in 2018. That was a shocker. And both are on revival process, and I think because I'm a Chelsea fan and I'm a bit biased, the German national team, I would say Germany goes through. But yeah, it's a really tough a really tough fixture to call. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think this is definitely one I'm going to try to watch if I can, because I think this will be a very interesting one. Because I feel like for me, both managers aren't exactly well liked by their fans. I think Joachim Low and Frank de Boer have basically been hated by their fan bases, basically at this point. And I just have this feeling that because it is Germany and because it is Joachim Low's final tournament, I think the players will actually play for him, and I think the players will give it their best effort. And that's the reason why I think Germany will actually prevail. And I feel like for me, Germany's midfield and their attack has been pretty solid. And I just think that for me, Netherlands have been kind of misfiring. I feel like the absence of Virgil van Dijk will be really felt upon. And I have a feeling that Netherlands just might choke this. I have a feeling Netherlands might choke. And I feel like at times it's just Depay or nothing. Like I don't really know who else is going to carry that Netherlands attack. And I feel like at Germany, once they can start clicking, I feel like they're going to get through this. So I think, in my opinion, I'm going to go with this surprising pick here and say Germany actually beat Netherlands. But man, if this was under Koeman, maybe I might have been saying different stuff. Maybe I might have, but it is what it is. So I think Germany will beat Netherlands. Now we have a very interesting one: Switzerland versus Denmark. I don't think this is probably going to be one of the most least watched ones fixtures, in my opinion, probably simply because I don't think many. This is probably not going to be a very goal scoring one. This is probably very low scoring, and I feel like both teams are very pragmatic. Both teams are very efficient. But I do believe Denmark's going to edge this through simply because, like I said, I feel like Switzerland, they haven't exactly been really that great in the knockout stage. And I feel like they'll have enough to get by to the group, but I don't think they'll have enough to make it to the quarters. And I think Denmark, for me, they have a really good streak right now. I think the last competitive game they've lost to was Belgium. No other nations defeated them since 2016, which I think is monumental. That's a huge, huge accomplishment. And I feel like for me, Denmark is a very underrated national team. And I feel like they might be able to do something. So I'm going to go with Denmark to actually beat Switzerland here.
Yep, I agree with you on this. I don't think I have anything else to say. Well, Denmark has been in sensational form. And if you compare Belgium with Switzerland, no offense to Switzerland, but Belgium have a way better national team. And for Denmark to beat Belgium, I think they could edge this fixture and go to the quarters.
All right, so let's go back to the top. We have Belgium versus Italy. What a fixture this will be. What a matchup this will be. Just to give you guys my quick thoughts, I feel like for me, this is where Italy is going to stop here simply because, like I said, I do believe Italy, as much as I want them to do this, I don't really think Italy's had the experience against the top nations quite yet. And I feel like this has come a little too soon for them. So that's why I believe it will be too much for Italy to prevail. And that's the reason why I think Belgium must get the edge this one.
However, I disagree with you because in Euros 2016, when Italy came to the round of 16, they had to face Spain and they beat Spain by 2 goals to none. So Italy do have experience with top teams. They even faced Germany in the quarters, but unfortunately they lost out due to pens. It was a really close affair. And I think Italy can beat Belgium, especially this Belgium team, although it is strong. The defense for Belgium is shaky. I don't think they're proper world class centre backs who can help the Belgium defense and Italy's attack of Italy have an excellent attack full of youngsters, veterans. I think Italy can edge out and go to the semis.
Wow, that's a big pick there. I wouldn't be surprised, but as I said, I see. The thing is, the Italy. I don't think they face like a. I think this has come. Actually, I guess you're right in the sense that Italy could do it, but Yeah, I'm going to say Belgium just about, but man, it's going to be close. So you have Italy going through, so we're going to differ there. So we're going to talk about Europe quarterfinalist. And so then I think we agree that France and Sweden will go through. And then I'm going to say France beats Sweden. I think as good as Sweden are, I feel like France, the pragmatism of France will go through. And I feel like France might just score off the set pieces, and I feel like it's going to be it's going to be a type of game where France is just going to like score goals from set pieces and France will just prevail, you know. It's probably
Yeah, I think this will be similar to the World Cup game where France played Belgium. It was a tight affair, and France won due to a corner kick, a header from Umtiti. And I think the same thing would happen. And yeah, Sweden, although they had a really good uh, run in the tournament, I think this is where their fairy tales will end.
I would like for Sweden to do it. It'd be pretty nice for narrative change, but I think it's probably unrealistic. So then we have a classic one from a repeat from the 2018 World Cup, Spain and Portugal, which I believe it ended 3-3 with Cristiano Ronaldo scoring the hat trick. So obviously this time around there will be no draw. Obviously, this is a knockout, so obviously one nation will prevail, and I do believe Portugal will
Another
make it
point
through.
to note is that if I'm not mistaken, a few days before this, before this, Portugal and Spain did play, and it was a 0-0 draw, right?
Yes.
Yes or no?
Yeah. That it ended 0-0.
Yeah. So this shows that after like 3 years, Portugal and Spain still are really close to each other. They are pretty equal, and yeah, I could easily see this game going to penalties, and penalties probably Portugal winning because they have Bruno Fernandes and Ronaldo who are insane penalty takers. Spain, I think, could just lose out the penalty shootout because of these two people. They could help the team go past Spain. So I see Portugal going to the semis.
Yeah, I think this will be a very close affair. I think both this will be very low scoring. I think this will be whichever team wins. I think it will be a 1 goal margin win, or goes to extra time, or even penalties for that matter. Obviously, it's kind of hard to say which will happen, but it's going to be very close. Germany versus Denmark. Now, this fixture actually did happen in real life recently, I believe, and I think it actually ended in a draw. And for me, I think this is where I'm going to make a shock pick and say Denmark's going to go through, simply because I think Denmark, for me, they have proven to be more of a stable team, and I can trust Denmark here. Whereas Germany, I feel like they've been kind of a little inconsistent at times, and I feel like for me, Germany, they do tend to disappoint. And so I'm going to go ahead and go out on a limb and say Denmark. And you guys know that every single tournament, there's always a nation that nobody expects to reach the semifinals. And so there's always a nation like that. I guess in some sense, Germany could be considered one of those kind of teams because, no one's really expecting Germany to do well. But traditionally, I think it would be Denmark because I don't think anyone's expecting Denmark. I think it will be more surprising for Denmark to make it than Germany. So I'm going to go with Denmark to make it. But man, it's going to be very interesting. And I think this one will be interesting to see what happens.
Yep, I agree with you. I see Denmark going through, and yeah, I usually like when underdogs go through to the tournament and most of the time win. Like looking in the 2021 Champions League when Chelsea won, that was underdog feat. It was an underdog feat. I didn't expect Chelsea to win. We just thought we'll go to the next round and go on, see how far you can go, and in the end, we won the whole thing. So I think Denmark could do another underdog run. They could reach the semis. I mean, they could reach the semis and even the final, maybe even win it. Who knows? And what you said about Germany and Denmark playing recently, you are right. Denmark and Germany did play 5 days before this recording, and it was a 1-1 draw. The match, Germany hit the woodwork twice, and Denmark scored through Yusuf Paulsen, the Leipzig striker. So yeah, it does show that these two teams are very evenly matched, and yeah, I choose Denmark to go to.
So then you have Italy versus France. I have Belgium versus France. Let's go through Belgium versus France first, I suppose. I think, once again, as much as I want history to change, I do believe France will do it simply because I feel like for me, the defense of France is pretty good. And I feel like for me, France will just edge this through. But who knows, man? Who knows? So I think France, I think Belgium could also do it too, but I feel like for me, France will find a way to do it. And I feel like for me, Belgium, once again, I feel like they're going to under underperform. So I think Belgium will unfortunately miss out. So I have France going through. So what if, let's say Italy versus France happens? I know I didn't predict that, but let's just say Italy versus France happens. Do you, which one do you think, which nation do you think will prevail?
Yeah, I would still go for France because France has, really good national team, really good midfield, solid midfield, attack, defense. Everything is perfect with that team. And they have backups too, which can come. They have substitutes which can come on and change the game at any point of time. So, and Italy, I think they only have a good starting 11. Their bench isn't good to like change the game when change is needed. And I see France going
Yeah,
to
you're
the
right.
finals yet
Yeah, you're right.
again.
Squad depth is very important. That's something that I think France will also have. I think France have more squad depth than Belgium and Italy. So I think regardless of whichever team France faces in semis, I think France will get to the final. So yeah. So then I have Portugal versus Denmark. I think we agreed that Portugal versus Denmark. And then, I mean, like I said though, I would like for Denmark to do this, but unfortunately, I do believe one player. I do believe this is where the run will end. I think Portugal. They have a very insane squad depth as well, which I think is going to be very key. And unfortunately, I do believe Denmark will miss out. But as you said though, as we all said, I think Denmark could easily do it. And of course, it's going to be very tough. And I think Portugal will slightly edge this through either on penalties or extra time, maybe a goal margin. But I think Portugal will get the better of Denmark here.
Yeah, I think Portugal and Denmark would be a really close encounter. And like you said, it could go. I say it would go to extra time and maybe even penalties yet again. Like in the Euro 2016, when Portugal went on a run to win the finals, they went into extra time quite often and they went into penalties and won their game. So I think the same thing would happen and Portugal would go through to the finals and we would have a repeat of the 2016 Euro finals, France versus Portugal.
This time, I think history will be different. I think France will get the revenge. I feel like for me, France, they're very, very experienced. I've been really liking what this France national team have done. It's been insane. They have a lot of chemistry together, and I feel like they're maybe more experienced. Whereas I feel like for Portugal, even though they have a very good squad, I don't really know they'll be able to. I feel like their chemistry at times can be a bit. It's. I'm not really sure how it can go, and as far as their I'm not sure how many goals they can score because I feel like for me that France defense is pretty good. So I'm going to say France just about edge this through, but man, it should be a good final. It should be a good final, and obviously it'll be a final to remember. And I think this time with Karim Benzema back, I think France, you would expect them to beat Portugal this time. So I think France will win. And what about you? What do you think?
Yeah, I think the same thing France would win. Actually, in 2016, when the final happened, I predicted France to win. And it was rather unlucky for France not to win in 2016. They had everything with them because Portugal had only won one game in the whole Euros before the final. And France had won most of their games, if not all. And they were rather unlucky not to win the Euros, but I think they managed to pick themselves up and win the World Cup. And I think they would carry on that form to the Euros this time and they would prevail against Portugal. So, yeah, I think France would win World Cup and Euros now. And N'Golo Kante would have won every single trophy possible for him.
Yeah, as well as I think France Portugal happened in the Nations League where I think France actually won that game 1-0. I thought they were pretty good, and I just feel like for me Portugal, they could look a little bit. I feel like Portugal didn't really play that well in that game, so I feel like for me, I don't know if Ronaldo will be able to show up in this kind of game. So but we all know Cristiano Ronaldo is a gifted winner, and we know the type of player he is. He has a hunger to win. So, in my opinion, I think it'll be very interesting. I think this will be very close, but I do believe France will edge this through. So that's pretty much it for today, guys. That's our knockout stage for that. So, guys, remember, guys, to comment, subscribe, and I'll leave a link down below the description below so you guys can do this on your own. And we did. So yeah, there's that. So if you guys want to check out Rack and where you can find him, basically all you need to do is to join my Discord server and basically join my main lounge server, and you will see him on there on Discord. And you can send a message to him, and of course, I'll greet you on there as well. So hope you do enjoy indeed. So that's it for today, guys. Hope you guys are ready, guys. Make sure you read the description below for my comment. Make sure you read the description below for my Twitter, Discord, and my email. And also comment, subscribe. And that's pretty much it. So, yeah, thank you guys for watching. Peace out.